Okay, questions like this will almost always be on the non-calculated paper, and they're a form of factorizing a quadratic where there's a number other than 1 in front of the x squared term. And it's a method that you just have to learn and practice, and once you've got your head into it, it's a fairly straightforward thing to do. So the method that you've got to remember is, if there is a number in front of the x squared, you take the number in front of the x squared and the number that has no x term and multiply them together. So when you multiply those two together, you get minus 24. Okay? So that one and that one multiplied together is minus 24. Now you're looking for factor pairs of 24 which can combine to give 5. Okay, so when you're thinking about 24, 1 24 is 24, but 24 and 1 aren't going to combine to give 5. 2 and 12 won't give you 5. 8 and 3, well, there's something you can do with 8 and 3. Okay, 8 and 3, when you multiply them you get 24. You want plus 5, so if the 8 was positive and the 3 was negative, then 8 take away 3 is 5 plus 5, and when you multiply those numbers you get negative 24. So those are your two numbers. So that's the first stage. Take those two numbers, multiply them together, and then identify the factor pair which multiply to give negative 24 and add to give plus 5. Then what you do is you rewrite your equation, but instead of having the plus 5x in there, so instead of having that, we're going to write that as plus 8x take 3x. So we've taken that bit of it, and instead of writing it like that, we've written it using those factor pairs. 8x take away 3x is 5x. We haven't changed the equation at all. Okay? So make sure you're comfortable with that. Then the next step then is to take this group and look for common factors. Now the common factors in that pair are 4 and x. Okay? If you take 4x out of there, you're left with 3x, and if you take 4x out of there, you're left with plus 2. And you can check that, multiply it back out. 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. Then you do the same exercise with the second pair of terms. Okay? And here, the only thing that's common you can take out is minus 1. You can take the minus out, there's a minus in both of them. There's no number that's common, so rather than taking minus 2 or minus 3, we take out minus 1. What's left in the bracket then is 3x plus 2. And if that bracket and that bracket are different, you've done something wrong. And it's usually dealing with the sign here that causes the problem. Check this sign. Minus 1 times 3x is minus 3x. Minus 1 times plus 2 is minus 2. So that bit works, and also that bracket and that bracket are the same. That means that 3x plus 2 is common to this bit of it and this bit of it. So you can take it out as a common factor. If you take that out as a common factor, in this first part, 4x is left, and in the second part, minus 1 is left. And there you have your factor of 12x squared plus 5x take 2. Okay? Run through that method again. First of all, multiply the first and the last numbers together, minus 24. Then you've got to find a factor pair of minus 24, or 24, that combines to give plus 5. So you run through them. 24 times 1, no. 12 times 2, no. Hang on, 8 threes. 8 and 3 I can combine with the right signs to make 5. The right signs is either a positive 8 and the negative 3. You then rewrite your expression, but instead of having the plus 5x, you write it using those factor pairs. Then you take the first two terms in that expression and take out common factors. Common factors there are 4x, and then you do the same for the second pair. And it should be that what's left in brackets is the same each time. You then can take that out as a common factor, leaving you 4x minus 1 as the other factor. You can always check that by multiplying it back out. 3x times 4x is 12x squared. Then you've got 3x times negative 1 is minus 3x, plus 8x is 5x, and then last, plus 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. So I know it's right. It's one of these questions that you do it and you know you're going to get your 3 marks once you've done it. Now, we haven't quite finished the question though, because then they've made it into a quadratic equation. So what we then have to do is say that either the first bracket must equal 0, get rid of the plus 2 by taking 2 off each side, get rid of the 3 by dividing by 3 each side. So either x is minus 2/3, or this bracket must equal 0. Add 1 to each side to get rid of that. Divide by 4 each side to get rid of that. So either x is minus 2/3 or x is a quarter. Okay, same deal here. First of all, multiply the first and last numbers together. Multiply that, you get minus 150. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give 150 and add to give 19. Well, 10 and 15 would be an easy start, but 10 and 15, you're not going to get 19 out of it. I also know that 25 stacks up in 25s, 50s, 75s, 125s, 150. So 25 times 6 is 150. And 25 and 6 you will be able to combine in order to make 19. So hang on a sec. Sorry about that, I can't press pause on this machine. So where was I? Yeah, so we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give 150 and can combine to give minus 19. So in order for this to get minus 19, I need the 25 to be negative and I'd need the 6 to be positive. And then when I multiply them together, I'll get the negative 150. Now I rewrite my expression. 15x squared, and instead of minus 19x, I write minus 25x plus 6x, and then the negative 10. So this bit here replaces that bit there. Now I look at the first pair, and I look what common factors I can pull out of there, and I see that I can pull 5 out and an x out. So 5x comes out, leaving me 3x from the first term minus 5 from the second term. Check it. 5 3s are 15, x times x is x squared, 5 5s are 25, and it's minus x. Now I do the same with the second pair, and I see here that I can pull out plus 2 and nothing else. 2 goes into 6x, 3x, 2 goes into that, minus 5. Those are the same. Check it multiplies out. 2 times 3x is 6x, 2 times minus 5 is minus 10. So now 3x minus 5 is common to that and that. When I take it out of that, I'm left with 5x. When I take it out of there, I'm left with 2. So that's the factorizing done. Now I put it equal to 0. So either the contents of the first bracket equals 0, to get the x on its own, add 5 both sides, divide 3 both sides. So either x is 5 over 3, or 5x add 2. The contents of the second bracket must equal 0. So to find out what x is this time, take 2 off each side, divide 5 each side. So either x is 5/3 or it's minus 2/5. So on this one, 15 times the minus 2 is minus 30. So I'm looking for two numbers to multiply to give minus 30 and combine to give 7. It's going to be 10 and 3. And it's going to be plus 10 minus 3 in order to add up to give plus 7. Rewrite my expression. 5x squared plus 10x, take 3x, take 2. Look at the first pair. I can take out 5x, leaving me 3x plus 2. 5x times 3x is 15x squared. 5x times 2 is plus 10x. With the next one, again I can take out the negative as common. No number, so it's going to be 1. Leaving me 3x plus 2, which I can see there then gives me 3x plus 2 as a common factor, leaving 5x take 1 as the other expression. To take that on to part B here, that means that the top of that fraction I can write as 3x plus 2, 5x take 1. The bottom of that fraction I can take 2x out as a common factor, leaving me 3x plus 2. And now, because they're all joined by multiplications, I can cancel those two. 3x plus 2 divided by 3x plus 2 is 1. Anything you divide by itself is 1. So that leaves me 5x take 1 over 2x. So that's a little extra step there with that question rather than solving a quadratic equation. Okay, here we got 18 times 4. When you multiply 18 by 4 you get 72. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give 72, add to give 27. 12 and 6 won't do it. 9, 24, 3. 24 times 3 is 72. Both of those being positive will add to 27. So I've got 18x squared plus 24 plus 3x plus 4. Common factors in the first will be 3, 6, x, leaving me 3x plus 4. In the second one, the only thing I can pull out there is plus 1, leaving me 3x plus 4. So 3x plus 4 is then common to there and there, leaving me 6x plus 1. Then I put that equal to 0, and I say either contents of the first part, gone off the page then, did I? So either 3x plus 4 equals 0, take 4 off each side, divide by 3 each side, or 6x plus 1 equals 0, take 1 off each side, divide 6 each side. And then the final example of this, and hopefully by now you're right in the zone of this. So the first step is going to be that times that, which is minus 24. Then you're looking for two numbers that add to give multiply to give minus 24, add to give 10. It's going to be 12 and 2. And in order to be plus 10, I want the 12 to be positive, the 2 to be negative. So then I'm going to have 3x squared plus 12x, take 2x, take 8. In the first pair, 3x is common, leaving me x plus 4. Check it. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 4 is plus 12x. In the second pair, negative is common, 2 is common, leaving me x plus 4 minus 2x plus 4. X plus 4 is common, 3x take 2 is the other one, put it equal to 0, either x plus 4 equals 0, take 4 off each side, giving you x is minus 4, or 3x take 2 equals 0, add 2 to each side, divide 3 each side. And that's it. So you see that if you can get your head around that method and practice them enough, then they're pretty straightforward questions to deal with.